east facing, it really adds up to the value of a luxury property. Now, when we define and differentiate the premium homes and the uber luxury category, our assessment is within the premium home category, the buyers are more keen on the external factors, like they need complex, they need safety, they think about the kids to play down, and they don't mind to be in masses, but they want to be slightly within the complex and the townships. When we talk about uber luxury, anything about 20 crore, the main criteria for them is privacy and exclusivity. They don't want more neighbors around. The floor to ceiling height has to be minimum 12 feet or maybe 3.6 meters to be said. So there are certain factors which differentiates both the categories, premium and uber luxury. However, I would say luxury is no more only about the space and the location. So I used to resonate high-end homes when people used to talk 10 years back. The first thing in my mind, since I've been born and brought up in Bombay, the first thing it comes to my mind is high-end is only South Bombay. But now if you look at any luxury product, it might be in Andheri, it might be in Goregaon. I'll pause myself here and probably will invite Parth.
Parth is joining us. Parth, why don't you join us here on stage? Great to have you. Not at all, but good to have you on time. We know how Mumbai traffic can be. Pleasure having you with us. Welcome.
So I was talking about it's no more the location, but at the same time, luxury has to be livable and not photogenic. Today what is happening is people have been showing great renders, showing a lot of things, but whether it translates into a good development is a question today. So I would rather say luxury from that angle. Most of the people buying in Uber luxury category are predefined and they are very sure what they want to buy. They would rather prefer Berkshire apartments. The premium home category, which is 5 to 20 crore, they don't mind the developers to get it warm finished, but they are more keen on the external factors and not the internal. So this is what we are seeing right now, Vikram.
So the factors you're highlighting right now when you are discussing it with potential buyers, what they're looking for in luxury, a lot has to do with the profile of that buyer as well. The younger buyers as opposed to the older buyers. Is there a marked difference? Because at one time, I remember in Mumbai, the size and location mattered more than anything else, right? And location was key. It was always one factor and it was location, 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 right? How much has that shift happened? Because now we are seeing a move away from a South Mumbai. A move away from perhaps Worli, because Worli has also grown in a huge way, and now you're finding more corridors develop as infrastructure develops in the city. So when you're looking at the profile and what the buyer, the luxury buyer today is asking for, what's the shift like?
So first and foremost, good afternoon to all the people out here and your viewers. So just to answer your point, I think first and foremost, I mean, we always believe that luxury is all about the exclusivity that you bring on the table. And while I think, I know that we've spoke about the fact that location is probably not that important right now, but I think there are certain micro markets in the MMR region which are known for luxury, which continue to be known. Worli is a classic area right now. It's the biggest luxury market in the Mumbai region, and that's only because of the fact that the location has been known to be a luxury market for all. Just straight coming to the point that you asked, is does the aging or the age of the people who are buying making a difference? Answer is yes in certain parameters, no in certain parameters. I'll tell you why. Customers who are probably, I think on a slightly, what we have realized, and since I think we are doing now a couple of large luxury projects, even the elderly people who are slightly more mature, asking for sustainability as a key parameter for luxury. This is very, very surprising. I mean, instead of looking at what modern amenities that they can get, they're looking at sustainability. And a lot of times they ask us for a separate presentation and saying that, okay, can you give us a presentation about how can you make a building more sustainable vis-a-vis what my neighborhood is all about? And that's where I think the mind is going. Of course, the younger, the more affluent, the young people, they're looking at the modern amenities. What is the world-class thing that you're going to bring, what they've seen in maybe a Dubai or a New York or a Tokyo, what they want to bring in India, and that's where I think their large focus is coming about. But fact of the matter is, ultimately, if you sum it up, exclusivity for a typical micro market, whichever the micro market, as you rightly said, be it Juhu or be it the Four Bungalows or be it Worli or be it Breach Candy, wherever we are. I think any of these markets, if you go and tell your customer, your discerning customer, saying that, okay, this is what we bring on the table, which probably is not available, that's where the luxury element comes in. It could be in form of your amenities, it could be in form of the specifications that you're providing, but the differentiation factor is what will help you garner that extra delta, which probably the competition is not getting.
So the differentiator is an important piece. Now, how do you draw this balance? Very interestingly, you talked about sustainability. At the same time, you talk about how our vertical buildings, our towers, our luxury offerings have to be amenity rich and perhaps in a community sort of way to be able to give you that much more. It goes beyond spa-like centers. You have your swimming pools and your gyms, etc. But it's going a stretch above that. You have your private theaters and all of that built in. But what about the exclusivity part, and does it work against sustainability goals when you talk about all these offerings within the amenity space? Parth?
Thank you for that. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you for having me over, and apologies I got a little late. So, see, if today we realize when we talk of luxury, great amenities, good planning, a great quality in terms of product and timely delivery is a given fact. Without that, no one can do luxury because the buyer is much smarter than us. He's more moneyed than us. He understands the true value of his money because he's made the buck and he knows where to spend. He's extremely spoiled by choices. And if he's clear for a particular location, layout, or a product, he's very clear what he wants inside. So today when we are trying to put forward that, the question should be like how we can differentiate ourselves as developers. I can put my standpoint. My co-panelists are very clear what the customer is looking at because they come from that side. So if we balance both parts, I realize the developer side, it has started becoming now that if we are providing any amenities, how those amenities are going to impact the day-to-day experience of a customer in terms of usability, not just namesake, there are 50 amenities in the brochure, but how it impacts day-to-day, whereby he doesn't have to get out of the house, of the gated community. He doesn't have to travel, remove his car. He can have everything in terms of wellness, which is most important. At the same time, recreation spaces for his family within the community. How that's balanced with sustainability is a big challenge now because all these new buildings of luxury, because of FSI consumption, have got 40 floors, 50 floors, 60 floors. Conventionally, all these buildings used to take 7, 10, 12, 13 years and maybe more. Now, in today's time where we pay such high premiums for FSI, the land cost is so high, the rentals, if it's a redevelopment, are over the roof. We are in a super competitive market where actually we developers are working on a cost plus basis.
Correct.
So the whole bottom line is we need to deliver also within a time. Like if today a 55, 60 story building, if we can't deliver end to end where people start moving in 60 months, we don't make any money as a developer. Now for that, what is important is how new technologies we're embracing, how the product itself can stand out in a competition is only and only by way of delivery and how fast we execute. Your experience center, sample flat, your entire product marketing pitch is only going to get you to a level where person is going to start considering you. It's not going to let them cut the check. So what I feel like we have a separate segment under Paradigm Marquee Collection for only looking at super luxury 20 crores and upwards. What we've understood from customers now is they are looking at in a manner where they are asking for amenities which have never been heard here. That today we go to a garden, the AQI is 200, 250, how do we walk? We are only breathing pollution. So what is it that you're doing in your gym?
Right.
Or in your walking tracks that this becomes good. So that made us think and we said, look, how about an open walking track which throws fresh oxygen, fresh air, so they're breathing in a very low quality, very low AQI index, clean oxygen. How about a hyperbaric chamber or an oxygen room, or in terms of a particular red light sauna? These are the things which we've not earlier done. We've given an amenity for namesake, not focused on what impact that amenity can have on the livelihood of the person. Like small things I'll give you.
Yes.
Earlier, conventionally, we used to give steam rooms where 8, 10 people used to sit. Now, no one wants to sit in a steam room for hygiene factors.
Right.
They want an individual steam console. They don't mind standing there, doing it, using it. Housekeeping guy cleans it and they get out. So these are the things that the guys want there.
Right.
Like the smallest of things, people don't want any services When you mean true luxury, any services, Amazon, Zomato guys or delivery guys in your lobby, they don't want to see drivers in the lobby. So there has to be a complete separate security system, entry, exit, drop off, how these people don't enter the building. Because today more than the residents is the delivery people in the building.
Correct.
More than the resident cars, you see the bikes in the building. This is a fact of all our lives.
Right.
So how we are thinking about it, that's challenging. Now within the apartment, if you see, every luxury guy is breaking our house if amenities are given by the developer. He chooses to be either a bare shell, and if we developers want to complete a building in 60 months, we don't sometimes instigate bare shell. We said we'll do builder finish so that we get out of the project fast, and they end up breaking it. So that's made us think now what people are looking at. Now we put normal electricity lights, which is LED and understood power conserving lights, etc. No, they want a mood light when they're sleeping in the night. How automatic at that time that light becomes dim. Night, if they're going to want to go to the washroom, how the dim light is on, they don't have to find a switch button when the lights are off. When they wake up, how the light should start before the curtains open, so the mood is more perfectly aligned with them, that they're not getting up with a complete hush-hush manner or getting suddenly very, very euphoric. These are the things, like smallest things that we learn now is how people want, how showers are to be operated, that what water should come in their head, how the sprinklers matter their mood and thinking processes. So again, if you ask me, luxury is now into too much of detail. Every aspirant luxury buyer is comparing your product with a global standard product. If you ask a lakh rupee, it is not only your per square feet rate. What are the other things that impact him, that makes the decision valuable, is far too important. And where sustainability is concerned is given now that people are not okay paying 50 rupees, 60 rupees maintenance per month. They want to have a product which is frill-free, easy to maintain, and their per square feet cost when they're operating a luxury product in the complex should be very good, where it works on an autopilot in the corpus that they've collected. So the burn money per month is reduced as much as possible. So these are the things that on the developer side that we learned, not by ourselves, but customers educating us at what they're looking at in the product.
So that's the change that's coming through, because it's being driven by very specific demands that the luxury buyer today has. But then does that put cost pressures on developers? Overall, when you're looking at the picture, this is calling for extreme customization to the extent that every buyer will have specific needs. How is that kind of telling on the kind of monies that are being put into developments and then also meeting deadlines? According to Maharera rules, you need to kind of maintain those deadlines as well. When they come as specific as Parth is pointing out, what are the pressures on the sector that you've seen develop over time in delivering this kind of luxury?
So honestly, Vikram, I believe that we have lack of innovation on the luxury side yet. Because luxury till date, in last 5 years, the spur what we saw in Bombay specifically, the inventories and the supply, whatever came in, actually got sold very easily. I mean, on my right-hand side, I have a developer, on the left-hand side, no offenses whatsoever. But we have not seen that era of hard push in this luxury segment, which actually translated to lack of innovations. Now, small things, I really agree with Parth that from the supply side, what is going to be the differentiation when it comes to an offering of a luxury product. Now, 2-3 things which I noticed in last 2-3 days and which really excited me is a small reel where you can have a private elevator within the house without electricity. There is an Indian-made startup who has made that lift which runs on the air pressure. There might be some pros and cons on that product bit, but have we evaluated such a small thing? I think we have not yet. I was in a seminar attending refrigeration. I mean, fridge plays a very important role when we live in our houses. And I don't want to name the brand, but they are into R&D. They are hard pushing their R&D team to save. I mean, just an example, they have invented one new thing where when we heat milk, right, we have to keep it 2-3 hours outside and then we need to put it in the fridge, right? They have invented a new technology where you heat the milk and you can directly put into refrigeration. So there are small things which needs innovation. Bombay, for that matter, unfortunately, have not evolved in terms of understanding the innovation. Be it facade, be it materials, be it appliances. When we talk about automation, we only talk about how on one button the curtains will open up, right? Or the lights will be dim. Or I can open my house being down, down on my podium, I can open my house. That's not automation. There is technology There are a lot of things which are happening globally. I would request my peer colleagues to actually understand what's happening outside,
Yes.
copy some good things. Most of the things might not suit the weather,
Correct.
might not suit the demographics, but there are a lot of things which we can really get luxury get going. But till now, I think it's all by default, which has been selling around.
But you said by default it is sitting. You said it was in the past. Rajat, has it really changed? How do you take this critique, if it were? Because Mumbai has few offerings. We are, in that sense, a smaller city than many others in the country. Here's where land prices are as high as they are because of the scarcity of it. So do luxury real estate developers get away by providing less when there is so much more out there that technology is offering? Now with AI, so much more is possible. Are we doing less than what we could be doing right now? And perhaps is that going to change the way that our future offerings in the real estate luxury space is going to change?
So let me, I think, break this entire question into a couple of points. I think there are multiple questions in this. The first question is that are we doing enough to sell luxury, or is this the market hype which is helping to sell luxury? I think, to be honest, top branded players, without taking any names, even before COVID, were selling very well on the luxury side. If they were able to deliver that product, they were selling it. And there are quite a few instances of buildings getting sold out 50-60%, even for apartments which are worth 25-30 crores, even during the time when we saw the market going down. So there were always a set of buyers who was looking at such products and they bought it. And I feel that this momentum of the top branded players who have proved over a period of years, I think their product will continue to sell even if the market sustains or there's a bit of maybe a headwind in the market. The second point is, which I take away, is that are we doing enough? The question is always, we have learned a long way. I think past spoke about certain points that we have last 3-4 years, there have been a lot of things that we have slightly luxuries in detail and we're going in micro. Absolutely, we are going in micro. There's a lot of details that we are looking into. Small aspects as much as the switch which is going to be put in the building. There's been deliberation happening on that which was never done before. All these things are being done today. Are we comparable to any of these Western cities or maybe a Dubai? Answer is probably no to an extent. Are we reaching out there? Maybe yes, very soon. I think it's a luxury journey and luxury is obviously endless in terms of what we can offer to the customers. It's going to take some time. We've seen this boom of luxury coming in Mumbai. A lot of new developers, a lot of new players have come in. They're offering a lot of new things. Whether it's sustainable in long term, probably time will tell. But yes, answer is technology is really helping us. There's a lot of work happening on the side. There are a lot of new opportunities. I'm meeting a lot of people personally across Bangalore. I think it's not working. Sorry, yeah. Across Bangalore and other cities that we operate in, wherein we're meeting a lot of new startups telling us something different which is happening in Silicon Valley and saying, can we do it in our products? Of course, yes, we're investing that money over there. But it's a journey. It's a journey. It's going to take time. And we are very, very positive about this model of luxury coming in. We are very positive that Indian affluent segment, uber affluent segment is ready to pay the extra dollar to buy the apartment of their choice. And I think in the next 4-5 years, to be honest, I think things will be very, very different from where we are today.
You think you're hopeful of change, but this is also happening at a time, and you did mention Dubai and London. There are many other markets that the Indian investor in luxury real estate has access to today and is exercising that option. Are we really competing in a way that the investments of the future, when it comes to luxury real estate, how is that panning out, especially for a city like Mumbai? Are a primary number of buyers for their personal use, or are they looking at investments? How has that scenario changed? And where does Mumbai rank in all the competition now that is building up?
So I'll answer your question in two parts. First part is, yes, Mumbai luxury market is still an attractive investment destination. You can't take that away. See what happens, we still hear prices only which make newspaper headlines. Even today, a lot of projects are still very well priced. If you even look at a 10-year indexation, they've not even grown by over 3 to 5% a year. And they've not even beat inflation vis-a-vis the cost, input cost of FSI and construction cost, which has gone up, or the cost of capital. But against that, the prices have not gone up, one. Two, over the last 4-5 years post-COVID, entrepreneurs who are at mid-level have made some serious money. because of equity markets or linkage to other investment which has been good, they've made great capital appreciation in the other asset classes. What we've typically seen is now when markets are overheated or globally when they feel that there is a little slowdown expected due to larger geographical reasons, people want to invest in homes because they feel at least our money is safe in brick and mortar. It'll throw us rent. It can be either 3% or 5% or 6%, depends on your purchase. But they feel secured buying a premise. It's a great hedge and a capital appreciation over a longer period of time. Two, what I've witnessed now is people who have bought 80 crores, 100 crores, 120 crore homes. They know these are once a lifetime purchases. But for the second generation, in and around in their vicinity, they're willing to come in grade A developments, which are between, let's say, if someone stays in an 80 or 100 crore home, but a 20 to 30 crore home, they would like to buy it for the child or a younger brother or parents or anyone, whereby they want them to be in and around their vicinity, yet have that grade of quality in terms of the product. It may not be that pricey because priciness of a product is now completely dependent on the community that is being created in the complex. A common wall, we've seen many developers, I don't want to get into names, where a common wall may be example 30,000, that guy is selling at 70,000. There is no resale flat available there. One flat comes out in a complex, there are 9 bidders within the building. So society makes a law that we have to do bidding and then give. So these are private biddings, but that means what the answer is, if there is a great community that has come in, the product has been maintained well after handover. A lot of times we developers try to make a great product for a name to stay. But after 3 years, we ourselves don't like to see our product. Because when we hand it over to the society, they not necessarily maintain that way. What are the post-handover things that they are keeping, which are completely being followed in line with when the product was conceived or delivered? These things are very important to have a value in a product or a project over a larger period of time.
Correct.
Number two is comparing ourselves to, let's say, any Indian market. Let's put 4 other places which are expensive now. Let's Noida, Gurgaon. Besides Bombay, there are some places in Bangalore now which has really come up. Then I would look at some even places in Hyderabad. Now, again, every micro market you see, those people there inherently in tier 2 cities are used to staying in larger homes. And they were actually predominantly over generations staying in bungalows, villas, townhouses.
Correct.
Now everyone's gone into vertical homes. So the flat sizes there are exorbitantly high. Means a 5,000 or a 10,000 or a 15,000 square feet home in Mumbai is like jaw-dropping. You'll have 1 in 1,000 person buying it. There, out of 100 people, 90 people are buying in terms of the luxury segment who are purchasing. Even if the per square feet rate is low, people are commanding a bungalow kind of or a sky villa kind of a vibe there in terms of a product. The height, the ventilation, the windows, the largest balconies which are like terraces. So the unit prices there also are very large. So answering is yes, there is a lot of upside potential yet. 2, it is totally dependent on product to product, how well the product is built, marketed, and what level of gentry that product is able to create. And third most important part is that if any project which is not delivered on time, people are very, very clear that the cost of capital has an alternative, very high opportunity value. So if the project for a developer, one goes by schedule more than 1-2 years here and there, a repeat value for the brand is dented to a great level. So the arbitrage that the developer can also seek from his own product to make better margins completely dies out. Then you're only doing cost plus basis business. And the investor will also always buy your product at a discount. So I think it's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
That's about
it. Ritesh, as we kind of wrap this up, I mean, to look at the future of luxury real estate right now, with all the factors considered, in Mumbai, the kind of redevelopments that we are seeing, and we were talking about slum redevelopments and all of those opportunities that are building up. But what we seem to see is a lot of these popcorn towers that are coming up. In terms of homogeneity, in terms of holding on to our past, the Art Deco that we started talking about this morning as well, you know, some of that history needs to remain intact. In the way the luxury homes are coming up, the vertical kind of expansion that we are seeing right now in Mumbai, how much are we going to be able to sustain it in a way that Mumbai is going to retain its character, as it were? And what's the form and which are the corridors that you see that are opening up to be able to hold that kind of lineage coming forth in the future?
So I think Vikram, luxury in Bombay, sustainability and heritage and the kind of old charm buildings is a step two. Today what we are seeing, luxury definition is purely basis the views what people are getting. I mean 70% of the weightage while buying a home is whether I am seeing a sea or I am seeing a greenscape. These are the two main parameters. Today luxury is driven by infrastructure more, I would rather say. Like for an example, the redevelopment of South Bombay actually opened up the first row towards the coastal side, which is now traded at 1,75,000 to 2 lakh rupees a square feet. Then further down, when it connected to Bandra ceiling, Bandra came into limelight and we are, I mean, seeing prices upwards of 150,000 rupees a square feet. Now the question is, if Bandra gets connected to Andheri, will Andheri see 1 lakh rupee a square feet or not? So today the discussion all around is infrastructure supported by the views when it comes to luxury.
Right.
When it comes to old charm, design bit or maybe sustainability, I think we can all talk about for hours and hours, but it will take 2-3 years from now, and I see that thing coming in when there is hard sell, when there is more supply, when the developers really want to create a differentiation, and that's where people will break their minds understanding how can I be different from a different
Wouldn't
product.
that be too late? If you're talking about only
No.
infrastructure-led development,
Yeah.
wouldn't it be too late to kind of recreate the kind of magic that Mumbai has had, and the differentiator that we're talking about for a city like Mumbai is retained and not not relegated to just a sea view or a greenscape?
To an extent, I would feel sustainability has been taken care. Parth was absolutely right when he spoke about, or maybe Rajat spoke about the youngsters wanting to be sustainable, wanting to buy a sustainable house. One thing which remains again very debatable is the outgoing, what you mentioned, the maintenance bit.
Very important.
Very important. So in a premium segment which ranges from 5 to 20 crore, we resonate this category to a person buying a car like a BYD kind of a car, electric vehicle. He wants all the features, he wants the exterior to be stunning, but at the same time he wants fuel efficiency,
Yes.
right? So outgoings is related to your efficiency when it comes to automobile. The category which is 20 crores and above, I think they are not yet maintenance centric. They are not bothered about outgoings. They want privacy. They want the profiles to be right.
Willing
so
to pay
they are
for
like
it.
Porsche or maybe the Merc or the Audis of the world. So maintenance is going to play a very critical role because most of the luxury which is coming up right now is in the form of redevelopment. And when it comes to redevelopment, there is a differentiation on the pedigree of the people in the same building.
Yes.
So no matter the developer will give a gold studded tap in the basin, but whether it is going to be sustainable, people would maintain it, is a question which today the developer has to ask themselves and deliver on that bit. So a fine-tuned balance between luxury and offering is very much required.
So we're not just considering the needs of the present and what buyers are asking for, but as developers, I'm guessing the need is to assess what this buyer of today is going to need in the future in a city like Mumbai, which of course has its own constraints, its own permutations and combinations by way of how to lead a good lifestyle. Maybe even a luxury lifestyle, but that, like he said, comes in the future. Right now, we want our city to look prettier. We want our entire skyline to look that much more attractive. You do get a glimpse of it when you're going past a Bandra Worli ceiling, but you want it to look prettier even up close. And how much of that old Mumbai is retained in the kind of redevelopments that take place is something that's going to be crucial and something that buyers perhaps are going to ask as a step two, like you're saying.
So an honest answer is going to be no. I mean, we are seeing the high rises. We are inching towards Manhattan and Tokyos of the world.
Right.
We are not going to backwards towards Venice or maybe the old cities. So unfortunately, I mean, being very pragmatic and practical, we are looking at modernizations with high rises so that views are retained. There is something to offer to the consumer. So,
right. Yes. So, of course, lots to look forward to in the future when it comes to luxury real estate, and these conversations, of course, will continue on how we can have that many more offerings and better offerings in times to come using technology. and indeed the infrastructure in Mumbai, which is growing, is perhaps going to lead the way as well. But thanks very much for joining us with your insights. Always a pleasure having you on NDTV, and the conversations will continue even offline. So thank you for being a great audience as well. Thanks indeed.